Nirmanamoha Jitasankadosha Adhyatmanitya Vinivrittakama Dvandvair Vimukta Sukadukka Sankaihi Gacchantyamuda Atamavyayam Tat. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, 5th shloka. Those who are free from pride and delusion, who have conquered the evil of attachment, those who are free from desire and free from the pairs of opposites of pleasure and pain, and who are ever committed to spiritual pursuit, and who are wise, will attain that imperishable goal.
Thank you. Hello, Marco. Marco has asked a question. Can you please, Sanjay, tell us where the I thought comes from? More mind or physical sensations, and from which place we just let it go? Marco, do you want to add anything else to your question?
Yeah, just to say a big thank you to all, because these meetings are very important for me, and a big celebration also for the end of year to everybody. And yes, because this I thought is the sensation that there is always this me, this little me that wants to be satisfied, even on a spiritual level. And so I just want to ask, how do I surrender? How do I let it go? This sense of limited me that creates a lot of troubles, even if things have improved a lot, Thank you so much.
In the shloka from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, shloka 5, what Neelakantan ji just said, at the end he said, you will reach the eternal ultimate goal, if you call it goal. And that goal is reached, achieved, or discovered only when there is no I thought. And this shloka also gives us technique, beautiful technique. When we are out of likes and dislikes, because mind either likes something or dislikes something. And there is this ego, this I, which is always judging, analyzing, criticizing, accepting, rejecting. So rather than focusing on different types of thoughts, if we focus on this I thought, your attention to I makes it disappear. Your attention to ego makes it shy away. Attention means vigilance. When we are vigilant, whatever is happening internally in us, that helps us to dissolve it. When we don't pay attention to this I, then it proliferates and gets bigger and bigger. And we don't even question it. But the moment you start questioning it, So vigilance is the answer to look into this eye and not try to operate from here. Just witnessing can dissolve it. First thing for any problem is that you accept there is a problem. So someone who has accepted that ego or I-ness, I thought is a problem, then you look, and then when you look within, mere witnessing it, because look, ego can be objectified. It is part of matter. All these things, intellect, mind, sensations, body, this word, and ego. Though it is very subtle, they say it is fake. But for the one for whom it is there and creating trouble, it is real. Its locus is also that heart which is the source of pure self. It also sprungs from there only. And its end is also dissolving in that pure self. When the mind is at equanimity, and how the mind can be at equanimity, where it is out of rag and dvesh, attractions and repulsions, when there is no I thought, when there is no ego. By love for the Supreme takes guarantee of making it dissolve. That is the path of devotion. He does everything for you if you surrender. Then this question never arises that how can I get rid of I? If your surrender is complete, then this question will never ever arise. Then you leave everything to that absolute. And you know that I cannot do it. I, ego, cannot do it. I, ego, cannot know the absolute. Only when it dissolves, what is left is absolute. So that individual who has ego, he completely surrenders to the absolute. Complete surrender is a technique, complete technique in itself. Then the Lord in the heart takes over everything. And it's not just mere word that I have completely surrendered. And then you are worried that ego is there. When the surrender is complete, Lord in the heart knows it. And He does it. But this is for the one who thinks he's incapable. He's weak. And he leaves it to God, that supreme power, that you do it for me. I don't know anything. I can't do it. Actually, that is what happens with most of the techniques also. We try techniques and we become helpless and we think we are not getting to that end result, though there is peace, things are changing internally. We are more calm, peaceful, more humble. And in that desperation, we can follow a path of complete surrender. When surrendered, then you don't think again. Then this question cannot arise that how can I dissolve this ego or I thought? Then we stay as a devotee of that Lord. And this devotion leads to that pure knowledge. And that pure knowledge comes when this I thought is dissolved. Bhagavan used to say, Bhakti is the mother of Jnana. This love, devotion is the mother through which the Jnana comes out, knowledge comes out. And believe me, the process is complete in devotion. Devotee merges to whom it is devoted. No trace of the devotee is left, only Lord. If you see, we say, I am. Now, this I is part of the matter. Though it is a thought, but thought is also subtle matter. It can be objectified. Now we have brain-computer interface by which we can pick up someone's thought and make that thought into an action by a robot or by typing on a computer. So that means thought can lead to an action. It can be objectified. Am is that pure, which is not part of matter, which has no name, no form. It comes in every body, every individual, every being, everything. And this I has somehow mixed up with am, I am. I is insentient, like an object. We call it jada, insentient. It has no existence of its own. And am is chitta, that tattva, that essence, what we are. And somehow they both get mixed up. Chit, jada, granthi, there is a knot. Though you can say it is a false knot, but there is a knot. That's why holding that I with that consciousness, we suffer. Suffer because we become an individual. And we think about this body mind as me. When we are me, then they are others. then there is you, we, I, me, all this. When the I gone, only amness is left, which is impersonal. Know in yourself and you know in everyone. Method of self-inquiry is also the same thing. Looking into this I thought. Any thought comes, you ask to whom? The answer comes to me. The next question you ask, who is this me? Who is this I? And you ask this question deeply. It will take false sight towards real I in pure silence. That ego which is projecting through mind in all directions, with that intense questioning, it goes back to the source. Then this questioner dissolves, no question left, no thought left, no individuality left. No relations of that individuality are left. That nodal point through which everything is projecting externally. If you ask me what is the locus, there is no locus. When it dissolves, you don't know where you are, what you are or what you are not. Then in reality, everything is connected to you, everything speaks to you. This is the first time you know the language of everything. That language is a language of love. That pure connection. Rather than paying attention to I thought, you can just be. Let I thought or whatever thought comes and goes. Take all of them as passing clouds of no value. And you be just. Possession is suffering. Understand this truth. Whatever we possess, we are scared that we might lose it. We stay like a snake holding on to some wealth, guarding it all the time. But when you don't hold anything, not even this body, when you have no ownership of anything, then you are really free. That is real freedom. Body never says that I am you. We only say this body is me. Problem is only one way, not both sides. Body is not holding us. You can use this body. Body can do actions for you. But when you enter into this disinterested arena of pure self, then you realize body is doing its stuff, what it is being made for. I was unnecessarily claiming everything as an individual. When the body stays and the ego goes away, it is like an empty home. Now, whatever your karmas, which we call as prarabdha karma, is leading to the actions of the body or different situations, but there is no one who is suffering from it. There is no one there. Even when we feel we are suffering and there is an ego and I thought, it is only a feeling. It is the way we think. And when I say we means that ego thinks, not your real I, not that I. That is beyond it. To be that, we don't have to do anything. Bhagavan used to say, keep quiet or just be. But then the mind comes with thoughts and we get swayed because we think it's all for us. Stay with mind as there is no mind. Stay with thoughts as if there are no thoughts for you. Stay in this body as if it's not your body. No ownership. Stay in this word as if there is no word. As you are nothing. Then see the magic. Then everything what you are not drifts away, leaving what is eternal, which cannot go away. It's a constant meditation. The one abiding in self is in constant meditation. Nicole has asked a question that when overwhelmed with emotion or pain,
There is one more question. You go up.
that we have done already. Okay, some enlightened beings. Who is asking that one?
Nicole.
Nicole, can you speak for yourself? Where are you? Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Where are you? I can't see you.
You can hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the video.
Were you listening to me just now? Because your question
Yes.
is exactly opposite to what I was saying. You have said some enlightened beings have said to ignore the mind and set it aside. That's what I was saying, ignore your thoughts. But then you are saying that I am asking you to pay attention to mind. Were you listening to me? Or you were busy
Yes.
typing? I didn't
Yes, I
say,
was listening.
I didn't say that you pay attention to mind. I'm only saying ignore all thoughts. There is no other mind except thoughts.
Yes, there's two concepts. One is to be the witness of your thoughts, to know what you're thinking, or to know the mind. And the other one is to set it aside and ignore everything it's saying and just be. So that's confusing.
That's what I just said, just be.
So, are you saying witness the thoughts or just be?
Just be. Why do you want to witness thoughts? Why can't you just stay? When you stay, thoughts might come. Whether you like it or not, they will come. But just be disinterested in them, that's all.
Disinterested. Okay, thanks.
There's another question. I think you are saying when overwhelmed with emotion or pain. So, when you are overwhelmed with emotion or pain, they are always associated with some thought, some association. And then again, this is all just witnessing to that emotion. It will come and go. It is like a powerful thought which comes with emotions. Because of your identification, you think that it has taken you away like a riptide. How to come out of it is not to get into it. Rip on the bud. When it comes, nip on the bud. When it comes, you just don't put your energy into it. Your identification is the putting energy into it.
Right. Yes. It's nice to just witness it and put it aside, but
once you get into
sometimes
when you get into it, then it's
when
too
the
late.
emotion comes up, you can't stop it. It takes you over, and then how to come back to being the witness when you're overwhelmed.
But it is all about your identification that it is your thought, your emotion. You have owned it. When you own it, then you can't come out because you think it is you. It is a big difference. Your ownership of these thoughts is making you overwhelmed. But if you have no ownership of any thought, you don't say my thought or for me, then how it's going to affect you? Let's say you are walking on a street and someone throws a verbal abuse on you. If you keep walking, you don't fight, you ignore, it's not going to affect you. But if you go back and start fighting with that person, then you are in trouble. It all depends how much. Again, it goes back to Marco's question, I thought. This ownership of these thoughts. If you don't own it, it's not going to affect you. And this is what the whole practice is. Witnessing doesn't mean you keep witnessing thoughts. You will get mad. No one tells you that this is a practice. That's not at all a practice. Practice is always to be. And whatever comes, it will come. It will not stop the machinery of mind. It is producing thoughts. You have already given lot of energy for thoughts to continue, propagate for a while with the momentum of the past. It will take some time. Have patience. Only thing you can do now is not to give more energy and not to identify with it. If you do these two things, it will stop, because it is also coming from the same source. Your detachment, your disidentification, that is more than enough. But then stay like that. What happens is, because we are not vigilant, we get involved again when something of our interest is there, and we lose that peace. And our identification is with thousands of things: cultural, religious, political, soccer team. It can be anything. There can be anything to disturb you. Because of that simple I thought, which has a stake in hundreds and thousands of things, by the time you are overwhelmed with emotions and feelings and thoughts, you're already thinking you are the wave. You are so much in identification with the wave. There is no witnessing in it. We call in Hindi a term known as sadhana, which in English we call practice. It sadh means slowly, and slowly you come to what it is. Each step, when you can be witness, can help you to be more witness. It is like for anything else. You can simply practice today when you catch up with people or in a group or whatever, and any topic arises. Can you stay just neutral, not taking any side? Can you stay like you are non existent, just listening? That you can take, this type of practice you can take anywhere, even to a soccer match. For a play, you can always take a side or talk about a thing. But when you are angry, full of emotion, that means you are really involved. You have already taken sides as an individual for an object of desire. Even that is not wrong, because now you know where your energy pulls you, where it takes you into an individual. So you can stay as detached. Actions in that witnessing mode are not full of passion. They are more like disinterested action. But they are not disinterested in the term which people think, if I am not interested, that means it is useless and I'm not going to do it. It is not like that. Or it is a burden on me. Disinterested action will take you to non-doership. Disinterested action will make that action as divine and pure and best what you can do in that situation. It actually increases the power in action rather than taking it away. Then it comes from the source. It doesn't become an individual act. Then that action has a different flavor, different feeling to it.
Hello?
Hello, Nicole.
Sorry, I just have another question.
Yes.
When you're working in the world, and I'm in healthcare, and it's a very high pressure, high stress environment that demands a lot of your attention you're constantly doing, and then it feels like you don't have a second just to be, and then you're overwhelmed in that situation. And then I'm wondering if it's better to get out of such a situation and do a different, slower job. If it's just you can't be with it. I don't know if you understand.
Look, there are two aspects of this issue. One is that when you are in a job which you think, it is actually you are thinking, it's not the job. You think it is overwhelming. A lot of people work in health sector. Not everyone feels the same. Maybe majority might feel the same. But to practice to do that job with all compassion, but not overwhelmed, you need to practice when you're not doing the job, when you are at home, when you are at ease. Then you strengthen yourself in that witnessing. And when you go there, you do the job, and then you get drawn into that energy as an individual.
The energy is very draining because it just drains all of your energy.
Yeah, because of your identification with whoever is doing that job. But more you practice in your own solitude, it will train you to be there, but not as a doer or as an individual. But definitely it is much more harder for you to practice at that moment if you have not practiced it in your own time when you are at ease. It is just a process. You need to have patience. And the question about whether to continue with that job or not, I cannot answer that. I myself work in health sector and I love it, and I don't know anything else which I can do better than that. It is one of the best professions, I would say. But it's your choice. You can do what you want.
Like the mind gets trapped and gets involved in just searching for new jobs all the time. And it goes down that path constantly. New job, I got to get a new job. You know, it's just constant.
Then it's your choice. You can do what you want. But then try to practice what I'm talking to you. You can't fix up your personal problems. If you are trying to fix up personal problems by this, then it is a big mistake. And that's what a lot of people think. They bring their personal problems. They think their personal problems will be sorted out by staying as witness. They might get some power or some energy by which they can do it. The person will disappear if the person practices it properly. Because problem is not in your situation or job. Problem is to stay as a person. And I have to say this, that some people are too person than others. Some people are too personal about everything. They have personal job, personal space, personal this. I'll tell you, impersonal presence is like transparent, as if you're living in a glass house where everyone can see you. Here even I can't see you, your video on this. This also shows how much you want to hide that personal space or whatever it is. Because there's nothing to hide. I am the body is the worst idea one can have, which creates all the problems. The more you understand this going deeper, you have nothing to talk about at personal level. This story of the life of the body is not your story. If this is your story, you had so many stories in the past and you can't do anything about them. But if we want to sort out our personal stories by some practice, it will never happen. Abiding in awareness is not any guarantee that your job situation changes or your personal life changes. It has nothing to do with that. All these questions arising about jobs and things, if you go back and ask this question, to whom are they arising? Who is this person? Who wants these things? When you ask this question deeply enough and sincerely, it will take you to that where all questions dissolve, where the personality cannot stand, where no thought can stay. Thought can only stay at the ego level where we think we are this individual accomplishing a job. When we get overwhelmed in a job, it is because where there is doership, there will be effect. We take credit and discredit of what we think we are doing. Let that middleman leave and only that pure energy serve everything the way it wants to, without the colored glasses of ego. Then you cannot say, I did it. Things just happens. More you question to yourself in your solitude, more you will be detached from this personality, that person. Nicole, have you done or you want to ask something?
Not right now, thanks.
Thank you. Change your interest from the doing of the body to the witnessing of everything. That real witness is always uninvolved. And it's not a paranoid witness that it is witnessing. Witnessing is not commenting or judging or analyzing or criticizing. It is just there, eternally witnessing in its own blissful self. It's not taking anything from anyone. This pure self can be known only by the self. And to be that self, only thing we need to do is to move this to this state by not claiming anything in this world as mine and no doership to any act. Then only you can enter this bliss. Till you are a person, personal problems will stay. Another litmus test is if you have personal problems, that means there is a person. Abide in your own pure silence. Pay attention to silence within. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.